All right. Did the Seattle Seahawks Pete Carroll, did he just kind of take a shot at the San Francisco 49ers? That's kind of what people are talking about ahead of time. He had a quote where he was talking about this. And I think it's not actually true. I think he's just sitting here and he's saying, like, hey, this is an important time for this team. They're 6-4 team. The Seahawks are. They can get in first place in the division. They're within a game of the 49ers. If they win this game, they're both 7-4. They have another game against the 49ers coming up. This is the most important 3-game stretch of the season for the Seahawks. There's no doubt about that. They're coming off a game they absolutely should have won against the Rams. They did not. That's frustrating. The Rams just kind of have their number this year. One of the games, the Rams, that was the opening week of the season, the Rams just destroyed them. And then in this one, they came back from big. It seemed like Seattle was doing everything right. Like it was going to be a blowout in favor of the Seahawks, and the Rams came storming back. It didn't make a lot of sense. But here's what Pete Carroll said. He actually said a lot of things, but here's one of the things that I'm wondering if people are taking out of context, because I don't see it. It says we give them a lot of credit and have a lot of respect for them. But maybe it's because he said but. The infamous but. All right. Whenever you say but, if you are asking for an apology from your spouse and you add a but at the end, all of a sudden, it doesn't seem like an apology, does it? So maybe that's where there's kind of this, what's going on? He says we give them a lot of credit and have a lot of respect for them. But I always love that we have a lot of respect, but we hate them. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. He said but I feel like we're much further along than we were. So basically what he's doing is he's not saying that they're bad. He's saying that he feels like they're much further along than they used to be. Some people are taking this as like he thinks that they're not as far along. The 49ers dominated all 3 matchups, outscoring the Seahawks by a combined 46 points last year. That's 15.3. Repeating, of course. Sorry, that's the Leroy Jenkins video. If you got that reference, congratulations. You need to subscribe to this channel. And they had 6 turnovers. The 49ers did not have a turnover. It was bad. So they went out and they went to bridge the gap. That's what they did. Defensive coordinator changed the system in the offseason. They brought back Bobby Wagner. Welcome back, Jerron Reed. It was huge. You needed to do some things. You needed to change some things. And I'm going to be honest, it worked. When you are looking at this team from a PFF perspective, they are a top 10 team in every single category. Every single category. All right. So basically what that means is they are a number 9 overall team. They are 10th in offense, 10th in defense, and they're first in special teams. Like, that's really solid. You have a defense that last year was awful against the run, terrible against the run. And this year, they're giving up 4 yards per carry, where the league average is sitting at 4.1. Not bad. Honestly, not bad. All right. So here's what we're looking at. You're looking at 2 teams that are 1 game apart in the record. 1 game apart in the record. However, that doesn't tell the whole story, because the Seattle Seahawks, for the way in which they're playing, for the talent in which they have, aren't doing that well. See, the Seahawks have scored 216 points this year, but they've allowed 218. It's interesting. Usually when you see a team that's top 10 in all categories like this, they're dominating. The San Francisco 49ers have scored 279 points, and they've only allowed 157. They're the first overall rated team on PFF. They're 3rd on offense. They're 1st on defense, and their special teams is terrible. So what does it look like for them to win this? Because this has been a season in the NFL. I don't know if you've been paying attention that much where weird wins are happening. When the Cleveland Browns, without their starting quarterback, throwing in just random PJ Walker at the last second, beat the San Francisco 49ers. Where the Houston Texans have a rookie quarterback playing like an MVP candidate and leading their team to 6-4 and competing not only for the playoffs, but for the division. The Seattle Seahawks, I would say, and I'm going to be honest, I get what Pete Carroll is saying. He goes, I feel like we're much further along than we were. I agree. Last year was a year where you felt like Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks overachieved to get to the playoffs. All right. And I'll admit, as a Lions fan, you see that Lions back there. All right. We have another channel, Sports Talk Detroit. Feel free to subscribe to that too. But I remember praying and hoping that they would lose to the LA Rams, and they just wouldn't do it. Baker Mayfield was so bad. And the last game of the season last year, no offense. All right. But now this year they come back. They have a better lineup. They have a better team, and they still aren't necessarily they're not putting a better product on the field as far as wins and losses go, as far as points go. So at any point, I feel like this can just flip for the Seahawks. Like at some point, it feels like everything needs to click. All right. The question is it this week? They're coming off a short week. And right now you have your did not participate in practice, just did not. Kenneth Walker is not going to play in this game. All right. Safety Jarek Reed, I don't know if he's going to play. And then all of a sudden he didn't practice. Not a good sign. DK Metcalf. The dude has been injured all year and he seems to play. He had the ribs. He had all this other. Now he's got a toe. That's tough. Limited participant in practice. You got Geno, you got Tyreek Woolen, and you know what? I should be more professional here. Let me show you this screen. All right, let me show you the injury report so you can be like, oh yeah, I see what you're looking at. So there you have your do not participate in practices. Here's your limited, and then your full participants. In other words, guys that are going to be good to go. All right, they're going to be good to go. So don't worry about that. The Abraham Lucas is the only one. It's like, is he going to play? What is that going to look like? The 49ers, on the other hand, really healthy. Usually the exact opposite for the 49ers. They're usually really not healthy, but they're healthy. And not only are they healthy, but the guys that they have that did not practice or limited aren't your big players. So here's the key to the game for the Seahawks. It's simple. Play to your talent and take advantage where you have advantage. You have a phenomenal special teams. You are going to need a good special teams play or two in this game to come out, I think, with the victory. You also are going to need your running game to be good, but the San Francisco pass defense has shown times where they can give up a little bit. Teams have found out that they can throw against the 49ers. So a healthy version of a quarterback in Geno Smith would be really nice. You got that right elbow injury that happened in the game. He came back in, which is a good sign. We'll see how healthy he is on the short week. And you have to stop the run. Okay, but you can't just stop the run by committing 8 guys because Purdy will kill you. You have to stop the run straight up with 7 guys in the box. That's why San Francisco puts so much pressure on you. That's also why Seattle can do the same. Right? Seattle's built in a very similar way. They can put a ton of pressure on you with the running game when it's firing at all cylinders. That doesn't allow you to, and if you bring more people in the box, they're going to beat you with the pass. It's a very similar, you just got to beat them at their own game. So I think it's possible, but it's going to be difficult. So yes, the Seahawks are further along talent-wise than they were last year. They're just not putting that product fully on the field, if you know what I mean. All right. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the game. See ya.